Moose Minute Project, the last day of July. So, welcome to the Moose Minute Project, titled WWYD. What would you do? So, yesterday I saw, it kind of goes along with the Shabuzi song of, need some good news. Got a good friend, owns a construction company, and I went to school with him, played Little League with him. And his dad was our coach, and his mom was a good friend of my mom, and we've had a lot of similarities in life, and we've stayed connected. And thanks to Facebook as well, we are able to keep track of what's all going on. And with my mom's event coming up, I've got some big news as well with that, that I'll be talking later on, hopefully tomorrow or maybe Monday. But Mark is a very good friend of mine, and he supplied backpacks with a bunch of stuff yesterday for the small school that we went to school first. I believe he left, I'm trying to think of the actual, might have been freshman year, sophomore or freshman year maybe. And then ended up being in Tennessee and going all around in the cities, Tennessee, and, working all over doing construction. And he is happened to be back home in Aiken. Aiken is a very small town. It's a very judgmental town to a certain extent. And it wasn't the people, well, some of the people, but a lot of it had to just do with typical, what they say, typical high school mentality at the time. Due to the fact that we were not on the, I saw a comment yesterday on Facebook about there were 3 types of people in school. You had the preps, with along the jocks, you had the smarts, and then you had the stoners. Well, I was part of the non-athletic club. I was a bowler for a living. That's what I did. I loved to bowl. That was my activity because one thing kind of like wrestling is, at least in bowling, it's up to you. Unless you're on a team of them. And overall, it's up to you as a singles player to make it work. So, Mark donated a bunch of backpacks yesterday, Mark Mindrum, and thank you, Mark. That is awesome that you return something back. That's what this Moose Minute Project is about. For me, it is about the same, is returning things back and blessing somebody. And in Aiken, there is definitely low income. There are definitely people that struggle to fit in, to be in that role, for kids to not struggle through schools and through that look of, you're carrying around a Goodwill bag, whatever it may be. There's always those kind of things that people look at. I started working early. Terry Docks gave me an opportunity at Rutgers, actually after Paul Beck's. I worked at the grocery store from the time I was 15 until I believe I was 19, somewhere in there, 18, and then I went to work for Rutgers. But before that, I got to work with a couple guys in maintenance at Rutgers because my mom worked there. So I started working earlier than that just because that's the only way I could afford the Nike shoes, the jeans, the shirts. Otherwise, it was all handmade stuff. So Mark did a great job with that. I got to meet, I'm working actually through Shirts Plus, for my shirts for my mom's event. I met a great lady yesterday, young girl actually, 21, owns her own Shirts Plus. It's hard to believe that you can be a business owner at that age and have the mindset she does, which is awesome. So I'm coming on here also to say, if you're in the Aiken area, or not, I'm 6 hours away. But I dealt with her over the phone. I've dealt with her with email. Bethany is awesome. I can't wait to hear what all things she has laid out for me. But it looks like that's where I'm going to go through for the shirts. for my mom's event. And then I got a call from Mark to say, hey, let's make something happen. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to donate to your event too. Let's try to get something going with these shirts and all that. So Mark not only did the stuff for the kids in Aiken, he's also reaching out for the Alzheimer's benefit. For people that do not get treated well in that town, to come back and want to help as many people as we can in that small town. I haven't been back to Aiken in a long time. I don't have a whole lot of ambition to get back there. I don't know all behind it for me. I don't have a lot of time with it right now. I mean, I'm literally 3 months out from my mom's event. But what would you do? Or what have you done to help the area that launched your education, your sport, your athletic, whatever it may be? You know, I grew up first in Plain, a very small town here in southwest Wisconsin. Played Little League, did all that here, played golf, did that, moved to Aiken, and it was very name-based at that point. I was already playing baseball for a couple years before I got up to Aiken, and I missed the cut in Little League, didn't get to play that year. But what would you do if that was your scenario? Or what have you done to help your area? What are you doing to make things blossom or better in your community? And yes, Mark didn't have to buy backpacks, but he did. And the thing is his business isn't in Aiken. Mandrum Construction and who he works for are all in Tennessee or Florida, or he travels all over for the other one. So there's no true where people will hire him, or it's truly out of the compassion to help kids. And that's where the Moose Minute Project has always come about. Like I talked about yesterday, integrity. Integrity is one of those things that I put at the top of the list. And what are you doing to make sure that that's there? I was mentored by some of the best. Bud Bruss, Tom Bruss, all at the bowling alley. John Woodrow. You know, there's another guy that taught me everything about first base and playing that sport, softball, whatever it may be. Great teammates. But most of all, mentors. Most of all, helping me through major things that I was going through as a young kid, from divorce to trying to fit in to that small town. And there's a lot more of them. Bill Klein, Keith Nentel. I mean, those kind of guys were true mentors to a lot of us. Pork Nentel, who passed away when I was not, you know. But what they all did for the young people in that town is huge. And it will always be remembered in a lot of our minds of what they did. Like Mr. Lake, one of the best teachers you could ever have had in high school because he made sure you were taken care of. Mr. Hoffman was the same way. You know, those guys all made sure that you were at least safe in their building or on their end of the building 99% of the time. And they made sure they were there for anybody and everybody. Didn't treat you didn't put you ahead of anybody. You were all on the same level. So what are you doing to, honor those behind you? That's what everybody says, Chris, this whole Alzheimer's thing is a lot of work, and, it could bring people. I'm not bringing people in because I don't want to I'm not asking anybody. I'm not saying, hey, help me, help me, help me. I'm not going to do that. If it's on your heart to help, if it's on your mind to help, reach out to me and I'll get you involved. But like businesses, I don't go to ask every business in town unless I patronize them. I don't think it's right. I used to work in the retail side in Richland Center here, and people would walk in your building when they're having their fundraiser or whatever it may be that you've never seen before, or any of their family, and say, hey, can you donate to this fundraiser? And if you say no, they kind of give you that look or feel disgusted, but you never see them any other time. So I don't go to those places unless I happen to know the people or know them other than shopping, because some stuff I just don't buy. But there are other things that are on the list. So how can you help somebody out and about? How can you help a project that's going on, such as the school program that, at Shirts Plus, they'll gladly, the way it looks, the Gravels will take donations there of backpacks and school supplies and get them in hands of people that need them. So what would you do? Or what are you going to do to make sure that you're part of the next generation, or that you're helping the Alzheimer's Association, Cancer Association, whatever it may be? And you don't have to help the big organization where some of your money gets lost. Right now I've debated on helping the Richland Center Police Department or the County Sheriff's Department, probably either one, maybe with a little donation for the Project Lifesaver bracelets or whatever it means, where people can come in and get them and their tracking device. So if their loved one wanders away, they can find them. That was the big part of when Mom was at the end there. She was wandering so bad, is that I was scared we were going to find her in any other way but alive. So, what are you going to do? And what would you do with the opportunity? If you were blessed to be able to do it, what's on your heart to make the next step? What's on your conscience to help? Where did you struggle? Is it, hey, we need to help with the athletic program in school. We need to help with this, and this. I've seen this before. How can we do something different? Can I get involved with a program that I feel is important, or can I start a program that I feel is important? Never did I dream a year ago, when I just came up with this idea for this Alzheimer's shootout, this Baker 12-team format that would have raised $5,133. And all the money from the teams went back to them. So all the $5,133 was from silent auction items, raffles, all that. The actual team money went to pay for the lanes and then went back as prize money. Paid $1,000 to win. $600 is going to go to, I think, 4th place or something like that. So how can you do that? Golf outing, how can you help what is in need? Is there a way to take a project on? Or are you in the retail side where you can say for the month of, coming up for the month of August, for every unit bought, or if you sell trailers, or if you're a restaurant, for every, that's one thing with Culver's in our neck of the woods. They do 10% of all the net sales for a night goes to X, Y, or Z. Is it something you can do there? Businesses get hit all the time, and that's where it's hard for asking for donations, because every business gets hit. I think Culver's has done it well with just saying, okay, we're going to do a share night. If you want to come and deliver food to the cars, do all that, deliver them to tables, yep, you're going to get 10%. That way they're not just writing a check for, nothing at all. But is it a possibility that if you sell ATVs, UTVs, trailers, whatever it may be, that 3% of all sales for the month go to this charity or go to that charity? I think you'd be drastically impressed with how much your sales may improve. I think there's a misconception, Jones Chevrolet here, Ryan gets all my business. There's a lot of people that don't like Jones Chevrolet, and that's okay. But he donates to so much stuff. He's on my top of my list. Julie Karen State Farm. I don't go through Julie Karen's, but I tell you what, I've looked at it, and I may change it just because I'll look at her more closely because of all the donating she does for things in town, such as the food pantry. Just any charity thing you hear is they're involved. Ace, Walsh Hardware in town, does a ton. So is there a way to get in? And I'm not asking for you to give away the farm, but is there a way to get involved? Letting kids have brat stands or whatever it may be in the front of your store? Or can you put jugs out on the counters to collect money for a month? Hey, we're going to have this jug out for a month. I don't know. Something to think about. So, what would you do, or what can you do? It was the topic today. Have a great day, everybody. And again, Mark Mindrum, thank you for everything you've done. You are a great friend. But it was very impressive to see the post yesterday on Shirts Plus website. That's the small stuff that I talk about. Take time to bless somebody's day when you can. Okay? Have a great day. I'll be back tomorrow morning with another edition of the Moose Minute Project.